On the very first day after taking oath, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Shinde-Fadnavis went to Mantralaya and called for the file on the Aarey Metro carshed. They scrapped the previous Uddhav Thackeray-led Mahavikas Aghadi government's decision to move the proposed metro carshed out of Aarey, one of Mumbai's few green lungs, and relocate it to Kanjurmarg.
People say SDNP is so far away. See the map how far it is. From here I put my hand and
And with this, the controversy over the metro carshed for Mumbai's ambitious fully underground Colaba-Bandra Seeps Metro was back in spotlight. The controversy has dragged on for a decade, from an environmental issue to a political ego battle between the BJP, which insists the carshed should be at Aarey to avoid delays in the metro project, and the Shiv Sena, which warns that it will bear a huge environmental cost for the city. As part of the MVA government, Shiv Sena's allies Congress and the NCP too were opposed to the Aarey site. The tug of war had been denting the progress of the already delayed project. The Aarey forest, measuring around 1,300 hectares in Mumbai's Goregaon area, a northern suburb, is the lung of the city with a variety of indigenous species of flora and fauna in it. It is also home to 27 Adivasi hamlets known as Padas, who have been strongly opposing the proposed carshed. The Adivasis living here fear that once any portion of Aarey is opened up, then more and more activities could come up here, which would further destroy this last remaining lung of Mumbai, which is the Aarey forest.
हमारे मन में डर इसी बात का है कि जो मेट्रो कारशेड आने के बाद ना वो अलग अलग प्रोजेक्ट के लिए अप्रोच करेंगे। पहले से ही यहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल जू जो है बनने वाला है उसका भी प्रोजेक्ट अभी स्थगित है, और उसके बाद जो है आरटीओ आ रहा है, फिर बोलेंगे इसमें हम लोगों को मतलब जो कारशेड बनेंगे उसमें काम करने के लिए लोगों के लिए बिल्डिंग्स बनाते हैं या क्वार्टर्स बनाते हैं, तो फिर ये सब मतलब आने के बाद जो हमारी ज़मीन है जहाँ पे हम उगा के खाते हैं, अपना उदर निर्वाह करते हैं, तो वो जाने के बाद फिर हम उदर निर्वाह कैसे करेंगे। पहले से ही मुंबई में मतलब मुंबई में ही नहीं पूरे राज्य में बेरोज़गारी चल रही है, और उसके होते हुए भी यहाँ का आदिवासी अपना जो धान है जो सब्जी है बेचकर पैसे कमाता है, अपना गुजारा करता है, तो वो हमसे छीने जाने के बाद हम क्या करेंगे। और आपको तो पता ही होगा कि जो आदिवासी होता है पूरा जंगल पे डिपेंड होता है, और जंगल से जो सब्जियाँ मिलती है वो बेच के वो फिर पैसे कमाता है। जो जंगल ही हमसे छीन जाएंगे तो फिर हम करेंगे क्या।
हम आदिवासियों को लेपर्ड से डर नहीं लगता है। जो यहाँ पे आरे में जो नए नए प्रोजेक्ट्स आते हैं उसकी वजह से हमारा जो ज़मीन का जंगल का जो हानि होता है और उनसे हम लोग को डर लगता है। लेपर्ड तो हमारे लिए तो फैमिली मेम्बर ही है। हमारा विकास को कोई विरोध नहीं है। उसके यहाँ पे जो आरे में जो मेट्रो कारशेड बनेगा उसके अलावा एक जगह थी कांजूरमार्ग, पिछले सरकार ने भी वो सजेस्ट किया था, तो फिर से आपको क्यों वापस लाना है। हम लोग थोड़ी विरोध कर रहे कि आप मेट्रो कारशेड ना बनाए, है ना उपलब्ध जगह है वहाँ पे बनाएंगे।
The current controversy around the metro carshed has its origin in 2012 when the then Congress NCP government proposed a carshed for washing and maintaining metro coaches at Aarey for the 33.5 kilometer underground Colaba-Bandra Seeps metro project. While the Kanjurmarg site was considered as an option, the then Prithviraj Chavan-led government provisionally decided to go with Aarey. As for any project, the Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority called a public meeting to record suggestions and objections that year.
I was the only one who raised environmental concerns at that meeting. At that meeting, there was no response because that meeting was, most of the agenda was taken over by people whose buildings would get demolished at Girgaon and other places. So there was no response from MMRDA side.
In 2014, when Shinde-Fadnavis took over, he continued with the plan. MMRCL, the Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation Limited, is a joint venture between Government of India and Maharashtra government, the nodal agency for the metro line. The MMRCL said the proposed car depot to also have an administrative building, operation control, inspection and maintenance workshops and stabling lines for parking of trains. And for this, the felling of trees is necessary on the patch of 33 hectares of land. Save Aarey campaign was launched by citizens and environmentalists around 2015. Number of protests were carried out and petitions were filed in courts, following which the Fadnavis government constituted a technical committee to look for an alternative. The panel suggested having an integrated car depot at Kanjurmarg with a small facility at Aarey to take care of the project's immediate needs. But the Fadnavis government later decided to go ahead with a full car depot at Aarey colony, requiring the hacking of 2,646 trees on a 30-hectare plot. Around 2018 and 19, Aarey had become the flashpoint between ruling alliance partners Shiv Sena and BJP, with the Sena opposing the carshed project in Aarey. However, in August 2019, BMC's Tree Authority approved a proposal to cut 2,185 trees from Aarey for the construction of the carshed. This led to protest once again, with citizens coming out in large numbers. In early October, MMRCL hacked trees overnight after the Bombay High Court refused pleas by activists seeking a stay. Protesters at the site were arrested. In 2019, the Uddhav Thackeray-led MVA government came to power and decided to ship the carshed out of Aarey the following year. However, the then proposed site, a salt pan land at Kanjurmarg, is under litigation with the centre, state as well as few private parties as its claimants. But with new government taking the project back to Aarey, protests have intensified. Activists allege using the Aarey land for a metro carshed now will make it vulnerable to future development, gradually robbing the city of one of its last few green spaces.
When he was Chief Minister, Mr. Fadnavis had a war room, Chief Minister's war room. With great difficulty, we got the minutes of that war room. And in that minutes, it is written, first thing, let's come to Aarey. He was very well aware Aarey was an eco-sensitive zone. Entire Aarey was an eco-sensitive zone. The Forest Department, MOEF, said it's forest and eco-sensitive zone. Chief Minister has directed the Forest Department to object to the inclusion of eco-sensitive zone and forest because I want to make a depot there. So under directions of Chief Minister, the Forest Department objected to it. Not because it is not a forest or not an eco-sensitive zone. First issue. Second issue is under the garb of a depot, a depot which is 80 acres, they de-notified 400 acres of Aarey. Okay, and in his war rooms it's very clearly written the depot will be depot and allied activities, and allied activities will mean commercial development which will be revealed only later.
After the Shinde government decided to move the carshed back to Aarey, Uddhav Thackeray requested the government to not vent anger on Mumbaikars.
दुःख झालेलं ते एका गोष्टीचं, माझ्यावरती राग आहे ना, माझ्यावरती राग काढा, माझ्या पाठीत वार करा, पण मुंबईच्या काळजात कट्यार घुसवू नका, माझा राग मुंबईवरती काढू नका. आरेचा निर्णय त्यांनी जो बदलला त्याने मला खरंच दुःख झालेलं आहे. आणि आजही माझं मत त्यांना हात जोडून विनंती आहे की कृपा करून माझ्यावरचा राग मुंबईवरती काढू नका, मुंबईच्या पर्यावरणाशी खेळू नका. कांजूरमार्गचा जो एक प्रस्ताव आम्ही दिलेला आहे त्याच्यात कुठेही अहंगंड नाही, अहंकार नाही. मी मुंबईकरांच्या वतीने हात जोडून त्यांना विनंती करतोय की आरेचा जो काही आपला आग्रह आहे तो रेटू नका, की जेणेकरून पर्यावरणाला हानी पोहोचेल.
Currently, the work in Aarey has begun. So far, MMRCL has claimed that 75% of civil work has already been done, and the project can be completed by December 2023. MMRCL lists out benefits of the metro line as it will connect business, residential corridors as well as airport, domestic and international. The agency also claims that corridor will reduce carbon dioxide emission to the tune of 10,000 metric ton per year and ferry 17 lakh commuters daily. But environmentalists claim that in October, MMRCL did not cut all 2,000 trees, whereas around 200 trees were cut, and in 2 years, once again, that area is seeing forest growth.
So this was a false story put up by the Fadnavis government that in 2019 that all trees are cut. That point of time, there was a curfew that time, na? After 1 week we went and we checked it, the trees were standing. So we have got the photos, we have got the data, we have put it before the Supreme Court. All the trees were not cut. So whether they cut all trees as for permission or not, but the statement was whatever trees we needed have been cut.
Environmentalists say that the forest has leopards, hundreds of species of birds, reptiles, along with around 4.5 lakh trees. They also say this is the only lung of Mumbai, and the project is proposed to come on the floodplains of Mithi River, which is crucial for Mumbai during monsoon. And if the floodplain is destroyed, it can lead to more floods in the city.
पर्यावरणवाद्यांचा आम्ही आदर करतो. पर्यावरणवाद्यांचं काही म्हणणं असेल तर त्यांनी ते मांडलं पाहिजे. पण ते सर्वोच्च न्यायालयात मांडल्यानंतर, सर्वोच्च न्यायालयाने निकाल दिल्यानंतर जर कोणी थांबवायचा प्रयत्न करत असेल तर मग त्याच्या मागे सदहेतू आहे का, असाही प्रश्न निर्माण होणार आहे. आणि म्हणून माननीय मुख्यमंत्र्यांनी मुंबईकरांच्या हिताकरता हा निर्णय घेतलेला आहे. 25% काम झालंय. 25% काम वेगाने पूर्ण केलं तर रोज जे मुंबईकर लोकलमधल्या गर्दीमुळे गुदमरतात, काही लोक मृत्युमुखी पडतात, त्यांना ही 40 किलोमीटरची लाईफलाईन मिळणार आहे. त्यांच्या जीवनातला प्रवास सुकर होणार आहे. मुंबईला प्रदूषणापासून मुक्ती मिळणार आहे. आणि म्हणून हा निर्णय अतिशय योग्य प्रकारे घेण्यात आला.
The Save Aarey campaign and the protests around it have once again begun in Mumbai. Interestingly, all stakeholders want a metro for Mumbai, but the protesters want the car shed to be shifted out of Aarey. The earlier MVA government had stalled the proposal of the BJP Shiv Sena government to bring a car shed in Aarey. However, after the change of government, now the Eknath Shinde and the Shinde-Fadnavis government had reinstated that a car shed would be built in Metro. In all of this political battle, it is Mumbaikars, the common Mumbaikars, feel that their last lung, which is the Aarey of Mumbai, should not be destroyed and it should be saved. In Mumbai, with Riti Agarwal, this is Purva Chitnis for ThePrint.